Since you appear to know so much, Lord Murderer, the inspector said humbly, then perhaps you wouldn't mind telling us how the murderer managed to leave the body of his victim on the middle of the tennis court and effect his escape without leaving any trace of him at all. Frankly, sir, we here at the police force are just plain baffled. There's no way he could have done it short of black magic. St. John Lord Merton rose majestic, his huge Father Christmas face beaming with mischievous delight, as he brushed the seedy crumbs of cake from his pendulous waistcoat. The police may be baffled, he boomed, but Merton is not. It is all a question of a little research and rationalization. The murderer, Dr. Grayson, danced under the famous ballet troupe, the Ballet Ruses, under the name of Oleg Stravinsky. The years may have altered his appearance, but his old skill had not yet deserted him, for he walked along his points across the white tape that divides the service boxes, with the body, where he threw it 5 feet into the middle of the tennis court, where it was found. From there, with a neatly executed forte, he turned back around and left no trace of him at all. There, Inspector, is Meredith's solution. Splendid, absolutely splendid. Meredith has lost none of his cunning, I'm happy to say. He's as neat and as gaudy as he ever was. Oh, yes, hello, good evening. A Milo Tyndall, was it?
Yes, Mr. White?
Oh, do come in. Here, let me take your photo. Did you find your entrance into the lane all right?
Yes.
Oh, well done. Most people just go straight past it.
I found your note when I got back from London this afternoon.
Oh, good. I pushed it through your letterbox.
What's this?
Oh, that's Jolly Jack Tar, the jovial sailor. He and I have a very good relationship. I tell the jokes and he laughs. You see, like this. What will you be having? A water, coffee, tea?
Water.
And how do you like?
Just ice. And, what's this?
Oh, that's a game.
A child's game?
I can assure you it is anything but childish. I've been studying it for months and I'm still only a novice. It's called Sonata. It was played by the ancient Egyptians. It's an early blocking game, not unlike our own nine-man Morris. Would you mind putting that piece back where you found it? It's taken me a long time to get it there. How are you settling in at the laundry cottage?
Very well.
Using it for weekends, that sort of thing?
Yeah, that sort of thing.
It is a charming little place. Well, cheers!
Cheers.
I hope you won't mind if I just tidy up a little bit, you know. I just reached the announcement of my new book, The Body on the Tennis Court. Now, would you say that the normal recreation of the noble mind is, in fact, the detective story?
Who said that?
Oh, I'm quoting Philip Bedela, a biographer of the 30s. The golden age, back when every detective was titled and all the cabinet ministers had Thriller by their bedside tables. Quite a fair bit before your time, I imagine.
Perhaps it would have been true to say that the noble recreations were the normal ones.
Yes, you know, that is a very good point, actually. I set my own work among the gentry, and a fair few number of the common people still seem to enjoy it in spite of the welfare state.
I'm surprised that they haven't done any of your stuff on television.
God forbid!
Well, they're always doing crime stories.
Oh, what, you mean those ghastly things where the police race around in cars and all the suspects chummy?
Yes, that kind of thing.
Oh, no, that is not my line of country at all. That is detective fact, not detective fiction.
And of course, as is such, much less interest.
Yes, you've put it all in a nutshell so very nicely, my dear Milo, if I may so refer to it.
Of course.
Very good. We're going to need to be friendly with each other. Now, let me get you another drink while you sit down. I'm worn up on you already. I understand that you want to marry my wife. You'll forgive me for raising the matter, but Margaret is away up north, visiting family, that sort of thing.
Is she?
Yes. Well, is it true?
Well, yes, with your permission, of course.
Oh, of course. There, put that behind your necktie.
Cheers.
Prost. My lord, it pleases me very greatly to know that you're not like so many young men nowadays who seem to think they can do whatever they want without asking anyone's permission for anything.
Certainly not.
Very good. Very good. I'm glad to hear it. Therefore, I know you won't mind if I ask you a few questions about your family. And so.
My mother was born in Hereford, a farmer's daughter, and my father was an Italian who came to this country in the 30s.
Mind you, I hope you have no objections to any children your wife and me may be raising being brought up in the Church of England.
Not at all, if that's what Margaret wants, of course.
You haven't discussed it yet?
No, it doesn't seem to have cropped up.
Well, I suppose that's somewhat of a relief, but no, if you'll take it from me, you're off for the C and E. It's just so much simpler to throw in Christmas Eve and a Good Friday, and you've seen the whole thing off nicely. Chuck in a Remembrance Sunday, and they give you the good Christian medal with the oak leaf cluster. Your father, his last name is Tyndall. That doesn't sound very Italian.
Well, his name was Tindaloni, but if you had a name like that back then, you had to make out an ice cream. He was a watchmaker, so he changed it.
Was he a successful man?
No, his business failed. He went back to Italy. I send him money from time to time and go and visit him and get some sun or skiing, depending, of course, on the season.
Yes, of course. And you, what do you do?
I'm in the travel business. I have my own agency in Dulwich.
Tyndall's Travels, I see. And where do you live?
I live above the office.
In Dulwich?
Yes. I rent the whole house. It's really most convenient. And it's attractive, too. It's Georgian.
I am sure it's just wonderful, though I doubt an architectural gem in the middle of Dulwich whispers quite the same magic to Margaret as it does to you.
Oh, she adores old houses. She can't wait to live there.
From what I understand, she was already living there. And I assume the renting of the cottage was to increase the frequency of this abdominal couple.
I came to be near the woman I love. It's a great thing for us to be apart. You wouldn't understand.
Possibly, but I do know Margaret well enough to know that she does not adore old houses. She has lived in this one for quite a while, and between the rising damp and the death watch beetle, they have put the boot in her good and proper. She only has to see a mourned window to bring her out in lumps.
Perhaps it wasn't the house so much as the person that she had to share it with.
I thought you were well brought up. Surely you know it is very rude to make personal remarks.
I'm sorry. You were just sparging my lover.
On the contrary, I was reminiscing about my wife.
It comes down to the same thing.
Things usually do. I wager within a year it will be you doing the disparaging and me the praising, having completely forgotten how intolerably tiresome, vain, spendthrift, self-indulgent, generally bloody crafty she really is.
If you don't love Margaret, you don't have to abuse her.
Never speak ill of the deadly, eh?
Now look here.
If I choose to say that my wife converses like a child of 6 and cooks like a Brightling's Land sea lady, I shall. And I certainly don't need her lover's permission to do so either. The only thing I need to know from you, in fact, is this. Can you afford to take her off my hands?
Afford to?
Afford to support her in a lifestyle which she wasn't accustomed to before meeting me. But not hers.
Margaret won't need all of this when we're married. It'll be a different life. A life with love and simplicity. Go ahead. Sneer at that. Sneer at love. It's a national sport in this country.
I don't have to sneer at it. I simply don't believe you, for Margaret Love is the fawning of a willing lapdog, and simplicity, a 10-carat square-cut diamond.
I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm sure with a little more effort you can find a much more appreciative audience.
Oh, come now, Milo, you disappoint me, rising to your feet and bridling like that.
I wasn't bridling.
Looked like a good old-fashioned bridle to me.
What?
Oh, very good, very good. Now, please, have a seat, and let's talk about something that matters desperately to both of us.
Margaret!
Money! Have you got it?
Well, I'm no millionaire, but I do have a lease on the house and some capital equipment, and the turnover in the business has been getting better every year, so by this time, I shall...
This time this year. This time next year. This time sometime never. So what you're telling me is that at the moment you're flat-skinned.
I'll survive.
I'm sure you will. But survival is not the point. Presumably when you're married to Margaret, you'll have a nice little place in the sun, a fast car, and a couple of mistresses.
Why? Just because you need those things?
I certainly do. And so does every right-thinking, deceitful, insecure man. The question is how to get them.
I'm sure you do all right.
Me? Oh, no, me. All I have is just this fading mansion, the slowest Lagoda in Wiltshire, and only one mistress, I'm afraid.
Tia, the Finnish woman who runs the sauna bath in Swindon.
Oh, so you know about her, do you?
Margaret and I have no secrets from each other.
Apparently you don't even keep... I'll begin. There was once an Englishman named Andrew White who, like most of his fellow countrymen, was virtually castrated by taxation. The only way to avoid total emasculation was to invest some £135,000 into jewelry, as advised by his accountants right before his next evaluation.
You made her a present of it?
Oh, no, absolutely not. The jewels still belong to me, and as well she knows it, but we figured she might as well wear them than bank them. After all, they are fully insured.
I see what you mean by the plot thickening. It usually does when insurance is mentioned.
Oh, I'm glad you follow me so readily. I want you to steal those jewels.
What?
Tonight, your choice. Margaret is out of the house. It is an admirable opportunity.
You must be joking.
Trust me, you would know if I were.
But what about the servants?
I have sent Mr. and Mrs. Hawkins to Weston Supermare for a 48-hour paddle. They won't be back again until Sunday, so the house is empty.
Sounds criminal.
Well, of course it's criminal. All good money-making schemes in England have got to be these days. The jewels, when they're not at the bank, live in a safe under the stairs. That's where they are now. All you have to do is break in, steal the jewels, sell them abroad, and live happily ever after with Margaret. All I have to do is claim the insurance money and live happily ever after with Tia. Or at least until I get bored of her.
So when you asked me over to here, a scummy plot to defraud an insurance company?
I'm sorry you find the plot scummy. I thought it was nicely clear and simple.
Nicely obvious and clearly unworkable. Supposing I do as you say and take the jewels, if I were to sell them under my own name, I get picked up just as soon as you report their loss. And if I could find a fence, always...
Do not start with me with fences. You would not get any sort of evaluation of the fence's eye.
What fences would you know?
Only the finest fences in all of Europe. I met them while doing research for my book, The Deadly Affair of the Drew Stein.
Never read it.
Pity. Absolute Physics sold 100,000 copies. Anyways, I've already taken the liberty of contacting a certain gentleman in Amsterdam, and he will treat you very nicely. You won't get total value for the jewels, but you will get some 90,000 pounds in cash, and it's tax-free.
Why should this man be so generous?
Because he will have the one thing that fences never have, the title to the jewels. I see that in addition to them, you steal the title along with them as well. So, that way, when my insurance company discovers that I have been stolen from, what does it do with its antenna pulsating with suspicion? It will discover that somebody impersonating Andrew White sold you it for 90,000 pounds cash. They still have to give me my money. Hard cheese. Think it over. Take your time. There's no hurry.
Well, this might sound stupid, but, I mean, have you ever committed a crime before?
Only in the mind's eye, so to speak, for the purposes of my books.
Oh, yes. Right. The police are always stupid in your kind of story. Only an amateur sleuth ever knows what's going on. But that is detective fiction. This is fact.
I am aware of that. I am also aware that insurance investigators are as sharp as razors. So that's why, as they say in the Athenaeum, everything's got to be done kosher according to Cochran.
I'm just saying, there's a difference between writing and real life. That's all. And another thing. How do I not know that this is one big frame-up?
Frame-up?
Yes, that you really hate my association with your wife and would love to see me in jail. Anonymous phone call to the police.
And be stuck with Margaret for another bickering eternity? Bloody stockings on the breakfast tray, false eyelashes in the waste bin, the bottles, the unguents, the oils, the perfumes, the record player, and the ceaseless vapid yak. Oh, yes, I could shop you to the police. Nothing easier. But whatever for? Still, it's for you to evaluate, old boy.
Well,
Think about it. 90,000 pounds. Cash free. It would take a lot of Tyndall tours to make that kind of money.
all right. I'll do it. Where shall I bring it?
Hold your horses, Milo. The first thing we have to do is we must disguise you.
What on earth for?
Suppose somebody saw you climbing in.
Who? You're not a boat.
Who knows? A dallying sheep, a passing couple. And besides, remember the clues which you leave for the police. Don't want to snag a button on the windowsill or a footprint in the flower bed. Oh, no. You must be disguised.
All right. What do you suggest?
As I am sure Margaret has no doubt told you, they were always dressing up in this old house. What with the amateur theatrics, the costume balls, the masquerades, there's virtually no end to the concealment of identity.
She's never mentioned it.
No. Well, it was some years ago. Anyways, let's see what we've got. Okay, item, jersey, a flat cap, oh, a mask, and a bag marked swag.
I thought the idea was I was not to be taken for a burglar.
No, fashions change, you know.
Not quickly enough. It's asking for trouble.
Oh, come now, let's make this a gothic folly. Perhaps we shall never know the true identity of the cowed figure seen haunting the manor grounds on the night of the terrible murder. Locals claim that they can still hear the agonizing screams of the victims echoing around the chimney pots.
Murder? Agonized screams of the victim? What are you talking about? It's a simple robbery we're staging here. That's it.
Quite right, my life. I must have gotten carried away.
All right. What about this?
Oh, Monsieur Picard, he's very good. Lots of beauty spots and wig powders let fall all over the place. Or, oh, what about this little bo peep?
No.
Are you sure?
I haven't got the figure for it.
An indifferent figure should not affect the material execution of this crime.
I'm quite sure.
Oh my, aren't you choosy? Now, that doesn't leave us a lot to work with. Suppose we'll have to settle for Joey.
Wow.
Oh, can't you see it all now, Milo? The tinsel, the glitter, the lights, and the roar of the crowd, and the glittering horses, and all the kiddies love you.
All right. Well, it seems most appropriate for the scheme.
Well then, put it on. All right, try this one on for size. How do you make a tissue dance? You put a little boogie in it. I know. No, stop. No, please. No. Oh, you flatter. You flatter. No, really. No. Come on.
Enter Milo.
Bravissimo. You're even wearing the boots.
I can go skiing in these.
Oh, the clown is such a happy chap. His nose is painted red. He dances around the circus ring till the day he tries a trick and falls down. Oh, give us a trick, Milo.
What sort of trick?
I don't know. Trip up, fall on your bum.
Certainly not. I don't think it's a very good idea.
Well, if not that, then how about a little juggling? Sorry there, old boy, but you know what they say in the circus. If at first you don't succeed.
Give up! Can we please get on with the charade already?
Of course. I'm yours to command. All right. In here are the tools of the trade. A glass cutter for breaking into. A piece of putty to hold the piece of glass so that way it doesn't collapse to the floor and wake the ravenous juggler pincherman you suspect lurks inside. And a stethoscope.
A stethoscope?
Yes, safe breakers make use of it. The idea is you attempted to break in by listening to the tumblers, failed, and then employed the use of gelinite.
Gelinite?
Yes, leave that part to me. All right. Have you got everything? Glass cutter, putty. The mask! and to the right you will find the shed. From there, all you need to do is grab the ladder, prop it up against the side of the house, and climb in through the gallery.
Will you come in and hold it steady?
Oh, certainly not. I don't want my footprints in the flower beds.
I'm not very good at heights.
Oh, put one foot on top of the other. It's called climbing. Improvise.
Okay.
Good luck. Your bloody boots off of my busy Lizzies.
Alright, I can use this. At any rate, now for the stake.
Ah, you're not supposed to know where the jewels are immediately. Go into the bedroom. Rumple some clothes or whatnot. Margaret's. For choice. Yes, that's it. Well, don't pack 'em, ravage 'em. Don't you know how burglars leave a place? Now, go to that wardrobe and rifle the contents a little. Actually, that's enough rifling. I made those shirts for me by Baguette and Grub. Chemise Maker's Kimono.
It's gotta be thorough. It'll look suspicious if the burglar played favorites.
It'll be a martyrdom. Milo, rifle that bureau immediately.
I can't. It's locked.
Well, of course it's bloody locked. Use your jimmy on it.
I haven't gotten one.
Well, we better go get you. Honestly, Milo, you are the soppiest night interloper I have ever met. I cannot imagine what Margaret sees in you.
The sympathy and kindness of a kindred spirit, actually.
I suppose you're just taking it a bit more seriously, is all.
You have to be serious if you want to be in love.
You've got to be serious about crime if you want to afford to be in love. Now, get cracking on that bureau.
I found a set of false teeth. They're a man's.
Put those back at once!
Sorry. Your spares?
Milo, step down here for a moment. All right. Preparing for a blast. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, contact!
There she blows. Hot.
Oh, you don't need gloves. Go on, get in there. Well, what the hell are you shaking it for? It's a jewel box, not a maraca.
It's locked. I figured there might have been a secret catch.
Of course it's bloody locked. Smash it open then. Jesus! Oh, the killer instinct of a newborn babe.
Such a pretty box. It'll be a waste. Dear God!
And Moses looks upon the promised land.
Look at this ruby necklace.
That we got on our honeymoon.
It's fantastic.
I never much cared for it myself. I always thought it made Margaret look like a blood sacrifice. Anyways, keep those to yourself. I'll get you the title to the jewels in a moment. Now, this is for the fun. This is the moment when the household, attracted by a noise upstairs, comes to investigate. And in the ensuing struggle, the house is sacked.
All right. How much sacking do you want done?
A decent bit, I think. You know, a few chairs overturned, a couple of china ornaments put to the sword. You know, convincing. You're not Carthaginian. Surely, you don't call that convincing. There, let the encyclopedias fly like autumn leaves. I never much cared for salt gaze myself. I cannot imagine why Margaret is so devoted to it. No, it still just doesn't look quite right. Come on. Let's see what accident does to artifacts.
Why?
Well, naturally, Naturally, I must be able to show the police a real bomb. I thought you'd like this thing.
How about the crowbar, the original blunt force instrument?
Steady on there, Myra. Let's not get carried away.
Doing my best.
Oh, we're not talking about a murder weapon. Do try. Oh, I know. Perhaps we could conceive a device that would raise a lump on the cranium without actually damaging.
Oh, a bee sting projected onto the scalp using a blowpipe?
Do you have such a bee sting or pipe?
No.
Still, 7 out of 10 for trying. Oh, I know. You could always tie me up, leaving to be discovered by the cleaning lady the next morning. Lots? Mr. Orr, what are you doing? I'll trust a proper turkey. Oh, I see. Try out something for one of them creepy books of yours, but I'll just let you get on with it then.
Well, if I don't knock you out, then how do I tie you up?
That's a good question. I know. You could always hold me at gunpoint.
We professional burglars don't like to use firearms very much.
Well, as a rank amateur, you won't mind conquering your scruples. Here it is. Don't you think its wicked-looking blue barrel is just the thing?
Is it loaded?
Naturally. What use would it be otherwise? Perhaps it should go off during the struggle.
Why?
It would add credence to my story. I, hearing a noise upstairs, fearing burglars, take my revolver, and then in the ensuing fight, the gun goes off. Me, being a fraidy-cat householder, would allow Brutish you to take possession of the gun, and from there tie me up. Right?
I suppose so.
Uninventive, but believable. You might have said, good shot.
Good shot.
Oh, what fun this is. Did you ever know Charlie Begbie?
I don't think so.
Oh, terribly funny fellow. You know, I once saw him bag 3 brace of duck with a single shot. Of course, the only issue was, they were china ducks in his auntie's drawing room wall. And so I lean over to him and I go, you can't do that. It's closed season. You know, it's really not that funny. There's an open season on some creatures all year round. Wife-stealers and seducers, for example.
Surely only in Italian opera.
Oh, but you would know, wouldn't you? It's your country of origin.
No, I was born here in England.
Oh, were you? Dear old cradle of the parliamentary system, he who screws my wife merits a large pink gin, England.
A sense of humor in Fairchild, England?
But that's the way a foreigner comes. Secretly in private you think, filthy, wet, ugly country. Rude, red, cold men who don't know how to treat women.
What are you doing? What's brought on all of this?
I'm pretty obviously pointing this gun at you.
Why?
Because I am going to kill you.
You're going. Oh, Jesus.
I'm not afraid of killing you, if that's what you're implying.
So, you mean all this steal my wife's jewels was just...
Of course. I set up the circumstances of your own demise. The disguise, the break-in, the jewels in your pocket, the householder aroused, the gun going off in the struggle, and of course the final, fatal shot. I might even get praise from the police for having a go at it.
But why?
Don't snivel. You can't think it will gain you mercy.
Please, Andrew, I must know why.
I'm shocked you even have to ask. But since you do, it's perfectly simple. I hate you. I hate your smarmy, good-looking face and your easy attitude. I bet you're easy on a beach and easy on a yacht and easy in a ski lodge. I hate you because you are a mock noble, a jeweled shot, coupling sponger, a world is my oyster or a seducer of stupid women, and a king among marshmallow snakes. I hate you because you are a coming spick, and not one of mine. Come now, little man. Did you really think I would give you my wife and my jewels that easy? Did you really think I would make myself that ridiculous?
Why? She doesn't love you anymore.
It doesn't matter if she loves me or not. I found her. I've kept her. She is familiar. And once, she was in love with me too.
And now she's in love with me. And the dog in the manger won't let her go. A mad dog that she put down for everyone else's sake.
And you are a young man about to be murdered in a clown costume. Put on the mask, my love.
No.
Put it on. Excellent. Farewell.